All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing Swords. As always, I'm Andrew.
And I'm here 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. What?
I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest.
Probably quite upset.
I've grown accustomed to not looking at you.
Well.
And it's so difficult to podcast this aroused.
So funny, because I've had this conversation with so many exes.
What,
like, it's a similar sentiment. No, not the podcasting as such, but the whole, I've grown used to not looking at you and...
Yeah.
You know, now they say, if anything, you're too nice to look out, I need to stop looking at you.
Did it bring a sense of longing to them, or...?
Too much longing. That's what the theme was. Too much longing, so we need to keep our distance.
Right, okay.
That's what most of them said.
Because they were worried they couldn't control themselves.
That's what they told me, and I completely understand.
Yeah,
so
well, I'm in the same boat they are.
We've not seen each other since.
Yeah. I mean, and luckily they were all illegal immigrants, so they've been shipped off anyway.
How I just go down to the local detainee centre.
Yeah.
I say, right, who's on the next boat out?
Start swiping and then bang. Grinder.
I mean, I was gutted they never shipped that flight out to Rwanda because what were there, 4 people on the flight? That's 4 guaranteed shags.
Were you one of the volunteers to go?
I was one of the volunteers to help load them.
Okay. Because, you know, there was the only people that got
shipped volunteered.
Were all volunteers.
And I wonder if they were volunteers or volunteers.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, because otherwise, what does that say about our country that to those few people that going to Rwanda
was better than the country?
Was better than being here.
That would have been good, though, if they just flew off and went, fuck Brexit.
Yeah.
Or fuck the Tories.
Maybe fuck the Tories.
Although, ironically, the Tories were the one giving them a free ticket out.
Yeah.
If they flew to somewhere like Mauritius or Seychelles, I mean, anywhere in the Indian Ocean, really, I'd have been up for it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we're sending you out to the Indian Ocean. Do you want me to show you a little map?
Please do. Honestly, like my geography of like Europe and
there you go. I mean, Mr. Bombastic reggae fan. Oh, I know it's not reggae fantastic either.
That's you could say that's racist actually.
I've accidentally highlighted. I accidentally highlighted Portugal.
No one likes Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo was born there. Well, this is quality podcasting, mate.
Yeah, no, sorry.
You've got to become a woman and multitask.
It's kind of like, sort of like there, off the coast of sort of southern India, between sort of India and Africa, but not quite India and Africa.
That's why I don't know it.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good.
How does it feel to be back?
It's nice to be back 2 weeks running. Yeah. It's nice to get back in. That's what I've struggled with a little bit, to be honest with you, is getting back into a kind of like, I don't have a routine.
No.
So I was always one of these people that I loved having time off work, but I just struggled a bit with anything more than a week or so because I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
So I've been, but I'm so sore. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
I've already been back 2 days.
I didn't even wait to finish the taxi ride home. So let's get started.
You were like, mate, you don't mind. I've been away for 2 weeks. He's like, understood, mate.
Just listen, son. Keep your eyes on the road.
Just keep
don't worry about what's happening back here.
I feel like that's the catchphrase of your sex life, isn't it?
Keep your eyes on the road. Don't worry about what's happening back here.
Yeah.
It's close.
While they just stare at the...
Sums up the sentiment. It sums up the sentiment.
It's more, it's a bit metaphorical, but you can read between the lines.
The message is there.
Yeah. If you say to a person you're behind, keep your eyes on the road, I feel like they're going to get the gist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about what's going on back here.
Because you don't want to be crass.
No.
You've got to use sort of like euphemisms.
I mean, somehow it's even classier than a carry-on film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's polite.
And I'll just listen to some Kings of Leon back
You
here.
Put your headphones on, babe. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Just pretend I wasn't here.
You won't even notice me.
Exactly.
That's sort of my approach.
Did it feel weird coming back to podcast after a few weeks off?
No, it felt natural. You know, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah. When you're as good at it as you are, I can imagine it's just...
It's heart pounding, it's exhilarating. There's always a risk you might fall over or hit a car.
Yeah.
That's just how I podcast.
I've got to be honest, if by the end of this episode
I'm hit
you get hit by a car, I'm going to be really impressed.
Prophetic shit.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? That would go viral.
Oh, yeah.
If that didn't at least get us a couple of subscribers, I'd be
worst comes to the worst, you could just get a little toy car and throw it at me.
Yeah, but now I've got to go find a toy car and I'm not going to do that.
Should we just forget about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll leave it up to God. If God decides, then God decides.
Inshallah.
Smite me, then smite me.
Oh, mighty smite.
Yeah. Does it feel weird having me back?
No. No, it's nice.
Slipped into it.
Yeah.
Like a comfortable pair of pants.
Yeah.
You just stepped in, pulled those bad boys up, let them
just
snug
hanging out
around
the
your
back of
crotch.
you, with you.
I know you are, baby.
But no, it's nice having you back. It was more weird having other people on because like we've done it for 4 years. I've never done it with anyone else before, so it's been weirder doing that.
Sounds like a conversation you can have with your partner.
Yeah.
You know, we've done it for 4
Jake,
years.
I wouldn't dream
I've
of
never
ever
done
doing
it with
You
anyone.
need to stop talking about me having affairs. It's not going to happen.
I don't think you... No, look, I'm not encouraging you to have an affair.
But just a dirty one-night stand.
Not even a dirty one-night stand. Like, Leanne can get involved. That's the joy of the spectrum of sex.
Is, I'm really greedy and selfish, and I wouldn't want to share anything with anyone. And I'm sickened by the idea of touching anyone else, so we're fine.
Well, fine. Keep your closed mind closed.
No, look. No, I don't think I could do it in general, to be honest. I'm just going to lay it out there. But I think that's as much as like a self-confidence thing as much as a like...
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a prudish thing.
It's that old thing, isn't it? If I wanted to disappoint 2 women at the same time, all that business.
Yeah. That's pretty apt for me.
Yeah. But I didn't think, I'll be honest, I didn't think we would start by talking about your sex life, let alone mine.
Could you do that?
What, have sex?
No. Well, I mean,
I'll give it a go.
But like the open relationship sort of thing.
No, it's not for me, that.
No.
I get it, and I get the appeal of it.
Is that because you couldn't share your woman?
It's a little bit of both. I would always feel like I'm cheating, even if it was an open relationship. And I think I don't like the idea of... Because look, statistically...
It's only one way, isn't it?
And look, let's be honest, it would be. If we both put ourselves on like a dating app or something...
The woman's most likely going to be successful.
One of us is going to be flooded with messages and it ain't going to be me. Okay?
Be sad.
Other than my like Russian sex bots.
You're going to be home alone while your missus is getting pounded to dust.
Yeah, and then what you've done, you've not got an open relationship. You've got a domesticated domicile. Yeah, that's the word. You've been cuckolded.
Yeah.
You've not been opened.
No.
You've just been cuckolded. Yeah, and statistically, look, chances are he might be bigger and better than me. You know?
Yeah. If we're working in certain percentages, he's probably a good likelihood in there.
If I was on, absolute top form and I thought, hey, no one's coming close, then maybe I might be a little more like,
because she's just going to be disappointed.
But I don't want her going. It's really sad.
She just ends up leaving you.
Look, this is like therapy here, right? Okay, this is as honest as it's going to get. The idea of my missus sleeping with someone else upsets me less than the idea of my missus getting pleasured by someone else. Like, right, okay. As long as she's not enjoying it, I can almost make peace with that. So if she
comes home and she's like, I was almost disgusted by what happened tonight, you'd be
fine. Easier to accept. I'm still not going to be fine with it.
Okay.
But it'd be easier to accept this. She came home and was like, I can never go back to having sex with anyone else ever. That was amazing, mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's the biggest I've ever had.
Do you know, she's like, that's skills that I've never even, none of my friends have even seen it. I'd be like, well, okay.
The thing is, in that situation, it could still be awkward. Say even like beforehand, you're like, if he's better than me, I don't want to know. Just come home and say nothing.
Yeah.
She comes home and says nothing, and that sends the message.
You know.
Yeah. It was better. So yeah. No, I think
not
if
for either
if it's
then.
your own insecurities, because that's the thing, right? You hear about these situations blowing up, and it's normally because someone's
jealous.
Yeah. So I think if you're the jealous type, or you just can't do it.
I don't think I've got the energy to be jealous.
No, but it's not that you're insecure then, rather than jealous.
I don't think I've got the energy to be insecure. No, I'm insecure. I'm insecure. I'm petrified little boy in a big man's world.
Yeah.
Is that a good enough soundbite?
I think so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tick that box.
I always worry when I do like the silly clips that aren't very long, that just have really random, no context moments, that they're not going to get the same amount of
interaction.
So when they do, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine.
Yeah, because that was the last one we put up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I always like to go That's my personal pattern. Is I
go for the
silly one on a release day, and then a midweek. Here's a bit more.
See, for me,
here's a clip of a conversation we've had.
Yeah. The weekend's fun time.
Weekend's fun time.
For the week, we get serious.
And you go, hey, you got a few days left at work. Come and get serious with us.
Listen to this hot take.
Listen to this hot take.
Yeah.
And it usually is a hot take.
Normally. Yeah.
Not even trying to be controversial. It's just how I live.
It's just who you are.
It's who I am. I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly.
Oh, I would never dream of clipping your wings.
It's one of my... do you know what? I genuinely really enjoy that film as well as a whole.
I watched it maybe like a month or two ago for the first time in ages.
Still holds up?
Absolutely holds up.
It's for me as well.
The two of them together, and I think Mark Wahlberg's a bit of a wet wipe off screen, but on screen I actually think he's like underrated as a comedic actor. I think like he holds his own with Will Ferrell, and it feels like there's a lot of like, I don't know, what's the word? I can never think of it. Improv.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of that.
It's his acting is really good and sort of almost slightly subtle, a little more subtle when he's reacting to Michael Keaton doing the TLC references, and they're just like, seriously, you've got to know this. You've got to know what you're saying.
One of my favourite scenes is when Thingy's wife comes in, and he's just Eva Long.
He's like,
what's her name?
This is your wife?
Ava Mendes. And he's like, no, but seriously, who is that? She's like, I'm the old ball and chain. Yeah. And he's just like in utter disbelief.
And for me, it's the explosion. And they're like, how do people walk away from this? Like, why do people look so cool? I've got ringing in my ears.
Yeah.
And when he's like, doing desk pops. I'm doing desk pops. That's not even a thing.
And then when The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson jump off the building.
Think what I'm thinking, yeah. See on the other side.
Move there, guys.
And then just immediate hard
Splat.
Cut to the funeral.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very underrated film.
Yeah, I really like that film.
And even Steve Coogan just randomly being in it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I'm on board with this.
He's been cast in, it's going to be pointless now because I can't remember what it is, but it's like a really specific role. I've got to look it up.
Was that when he was Savile?
No, it's like a new thing he's just been cast in.
Okay.
Can I swear on this pod?
Mate, you're asking that question after 4 years.
I'm well
after
too
all
far.
The things
well
too
said. Far. Motherfucker. Oh yeah, he's been okay. So they've announced that they're doing a movie about the 2002 Ireland at the World Cup, and he's playing Mick McCarthy.
Oh, Ireland.
Yeah.
Right, and he's Mick McCarthy.
He's signed up to play Mick McCarthy.
What did they do in that World Cup?
It's when Roy Keane had a famous falling out with Mick McCarthy, and after players got sent home or went home, like during the group stage. I don't know. I mean, Christ, I'm not a movie exec.
I did.
They made a film about the start of fucking flaming Cheetos or whatever it was. Like, we need to just calm down and remember that maybe we should just...
Look, for all we know, that could be a deeply and inspiring story.
Like, Hollywood's having a meltdown is what's happening. They don't know what they're doing.
We'll get there. Chill out. I did hear a fantastic rumour on Twitter, and I know it's not true, but I'm going to continue it.
Shoot.
Mick McCarthy apparently is dating Sabrina Carpenter.
I saw that.
And I was just like, I would love nothing more on this planet than for that to be true.
I respond because it's the only thing I ever associate with Mick McCarthy. Ask me again in May.
No, I'm thinking of Nigel Pearson. I hate that wanker.
Yeah.
I just remember Mick McCarthy. I think he just got appointed to Ipswich when Dougie had left, and we'd appointed Holloway, and he hadn't taken over yet. And I can't remember who the assistant was, and he was in charge. And I think we slapped up Ipswich 5-1, and it was just seeing Mick McCarthy absolutely miserable made my day.
Worth it.
Yeah.
It's like football is very unique. I mean, people have this Schadenfreude anyway, but football is a very unique place for Schadenfreude.
I know you've stolen that from James O'Brien, but I can't remember what it means.
No, it's just a well-known German phrase. It's like joy in other people's misery. To take joy in someone else's misery.
Is it racist to say it like that as well?
No, it's cultural.
Schadenfreude.
It's culturally respectable.
Is it weird I'm even more turned on now as well?
Oh, you like a bit of the German.
I'm not going to lie, I did. I liked it. All right. Particularly on you.
I can work with that.
Maybe you can give Leanne some tips to sound like a German man.
But seriously, there is
what does it actually mean,
it is to take joy from other people's misery.
Right, okay.
So it's not just... You actually get genuine pleasure out of watching someone else in distress or discomfort with it, and football is like a hotbed for it.
It's like when you see a small child crying.
I was just about to say, not even at a football match. For me, it's end of the season. It's just any time out in the street, children crying, love it. Sometimes I'll just give one little kick as I'm walking past.
You sick bastard.
It's end of the season. Team's just been relegated.
Yeah.
Cut to a shot of a kid in the crowd crying.
Yes.
That is fucking football heritage. That is the staple of the season.
Like, and imagine you're the team that's inflicting that upon them. Like, I can't remember, was it a German child that we made cry one year or something like that?
Yeah, in England.
And everyone said we were horrible bastards. And it was like, yes.
I think that was Euro 2020. I mean, obviously 21, but yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. And
they had that shot of the German kid
girl.
And crying, and it was just like...
It's the best day of my life.
And we were sharing it around social media and being like, love it, love it.
Because the thing is, in that moment, I'm thinking about when Lampard and us were robbed. Do you know what I mean?
2010.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moments like that where I'm like, good. You get to know how it feels.
But do you know what though? That's the thing. As a football fan, particularly of a club that aren't necessarily the most successful, we're doing very well. We've always been top 2 leagues, and I've always want to make sure I preface that. But as like a team that haven't done particularly well, I've been there. Yeah. I've experienced that heartbreak. I've not sat on TV crying.
Yeah. Were you at the FA Cup final?
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have hurt.
It's one of the best,
especially as we took the lead.
The journey, that 2 minutes we were ahead, 3 minutes we were ahead. The happiest I think I've ever felt, and I want to say sorry to my partner because you'll never come close. Okay.
Oh, Jake,
I'm sorry. Partner. There's a lot of love there, but you'll never come close to 2016. Jason Punch and knocking one in, but she's a Palace fan, so she'll accept that. Okay, she knows that no one. Oh,
she's a Palace fan.
Yeah, so she knows that that's
well done.
Exceptionally high standard. Respect. Thank you, sir.
My missus is an Arsenal fan, so
no one's perfect.
No, true. At least it's not Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have any black friends, could you? If she was a Chelsea fan.
Well, technically I don't, so we'd be fine.
Oh well, yeah, you're all right. Are you sure you're not a Chelsea fan?
Maybe somewhere.
A little bit of sympathy for Millwall somewhere.
One of my favourite players when I was a proper little kid, and I'm talking like 5, was Zola.
Yeah.
And I actually used to wear a Chelsea shirt with Zola on, which for me isn't out of character. I wore a lot of different football tops when I was. Everyone over exaggerates it like I wore 20 different teams. It was like 4 or 5, I think.
Doesn't.
And I remember there was a stage when we were playing 5-a-side where I convinced everyone to get Romania tops.
Yeah, I've still got that.
Yeah, mine's somewhere. I doubt it fits.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
But can I stick with football? Because I want to ask you a question, okay? Because I had this thought the other day. I've sent it to a couple of footballing podcasts, but I specifically sent it to podcasts where they have...
Who did you send it to, out of curiosity?
My first thought was Sacked in the Morning. If you've never listened to it, do. They're amazing. So there's an episode with Barry Fry.
Okay.
He tells these stories. There's 3 stories in particular that are just absolutely top draw. He talks about this time Harry Redknapp stole a player from him.
Okay.
I'll tell you. May I tell you the story very briefly? He basically, so back in the day, Barry Fry, it was when he was. I think it was when he was at Peterborough as manager, and he used to have. He said, "What we used to do."
Wasn't he an owner?
Yeah, he's basically done every job at that club.
Oh, has he? I thought he was an owner.
But he used to do. So he did this. Yeah, but he used to be a manager as well. He used to do. He never managed anyone high.
Yeah.
But he was managing, and he said what they used to do is they used to with the contracts for the players, they never used to sign a datum. He'd have a copy of their contract locked away in the office, and then when anyone wanted to buy them, they'd have to give an official week's notice before they started negotiations.
Okay.
So in that week, they'd whip out the contract, sign it, date it, and now they owe us money.
Okay.
And he said, Harry Redknapp rang me up. He said, Harry Redknapp from Bournemouth, he says, I'm looking at your boy, John Smith or whatever. He says, I'm interested in signing him. I'm going to give you 30 grand. And he went, 30 grand? He said, he's worth 500,000. You must be joking, Redknapp, you absolute piss taker. He's like, I'm not giving you that. And he sort of went, listen, he said, this is a courtesy call. He says, I'm having him. And he went, no, you're not. He says, I've got his contract right here in my office and you're not touching it until you give me 500 grand. He said, well, here's the thing, Barry. When you was out at lunch the other day, John Smith went into your office. He took his contract. I've got it right here. There's no sign, there's no signature, no date on it. He said, so I'm going to sign it and date it. He says, I'm going to have him. I said, I was giving you a courtesy call to offer you 30 grand. Now I'm giving you nothing. And he was like, "Oh, fucking do you, Redknapp? When I see you, I'll break your fucking legs. I'll take your kneecaps out."
The thing is, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And he said, but they were like, "Oh, did you ever make up?" He went, "Yeah." He said, "I saw him a couple of months later at the race, and he gave me a hot tip on a 66-1 winner." He said, "We've been best mates ever since." Do you know what it got me longing for, though?
What?
Old school corruption. Corruption where, like, and he said his chairman at one point, he said, "Oh, we're going to do a Christmas party in Vegas." He says, "But I need, like, names and addresses of players, friends and families and stuff." He says, "So if you can get me, like, 5, 10 or whatever." So he said he got about 10 or 20 from each player, got their names and addresses and stuff, given to the chairman. They went and had their party. It turns out that what the chairman had done was, or the owner had done, was he'd taken out a 10 grand loan in every single name that he'd given him. Now, what I like about that is that's just a really incompetent corruption. Like now, when you look at the likes of City, they're lawyered up to their arseholes and they're playing within the system. I like old school corruption, just like that.
Just a guy paying a guy.
Yeah, or a bloke who's got the contracts in his office because he don't want to pay taxes on them. All that kind of stuff. I want that.
Okay.
I need that.
I think it died with Sam Allardyce, didn't it?
He was the bastion of
After
dodginess.
He got caught, everyone was like, "Shit, guys, the jig is up."
But I'm going to propose a question to you.
Please do.
Because I wanted it to be predominantly answered by managers and stuff like that, but I'm going to ask you as well. So, and I promise this is a football question. It might not start that way. I was watching Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman promote Deadpool and Wolverine.
The hot ones?
No, this was on Radio 1.
Okay.
And someone made an appearance over the phone. It was Paul Mullin.
Okay.
And it turns out, spoiler alert, Paul Mullin's got a cameo in Deadpool
film.
and Wolverine.
Yeah, as well.
And it got me thinking back to the documentary. I've still only ever seen the first season, by the way. I know I really do mean to watch the rest because I did really enjoy that first season. I literally just
finished watching it the other day.
It's so clear from that first season, and it might change, but I'm guessing it hasn't, that Ryan Reynolds has a real soft spot for Paul Mullin. He's clearly like his favourite player.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you think that affects the dressing room when a chairman or an owner has such a special relationship with a player? And also, how do you think it affects the manager? Because would it put the manager in a difficult position to manage that player when they're so clearly favoured by the owner? For example, it'd be very difficult for, what's his name? The old Charlton boss, whatever his name, Phil Parkinson.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult for him to sell Paul Mullin if he'd suddenly decided he's not what we need in our system or whatever, we're changing the way we play. It'd be very difficult for him to sell him, given Ryan Reynolds' relationship with him.
Yeah.
And all the other players who are equally to be praised for Wrexham's success and for their promotions and stuff, they're getting completely left aside. Now they may like that he's taken have the limelight, but I wanted to get your perspective on what that feels like, because it's not just a special relationship between an owner and a player; it's a very public special relationship.
Yeah. You see it in the first season, just through him being signed in the first place and being paid the money he was, that pissed off a lot of the players at the club. But I think that's probably more of an issue at lower league level than anything else, because I think special treatment becomes more common the higher you go, because the higher calibre of players you're dealing with. I think in their particular circumstance, I don't want to give any spoilers.
Oh, you can.
But in the third series...
You can. To me, anyway.
He's playing shit, Paul Mullin. He's come back from an injury, a yard slower than he was before the injury, and, just isn't scoring. And at no point... eventually, Parkinson drops him and brings in someone else. At no point is it even questioned why is he being dropped or anything like that. So I think it depends on what sort of owner you are. I think Ryan Reynolds and Rob, and again they say it in the third series, we've been really careful to remember that we don't understand football, so we hire and pay people that do to advise us. So we've hired Phil Parkinson, who's more than qualified to be managing us, certainly at that level. All. So, we trust his opinion. We've hired Sean Harvey to run the club, X, Y, and Z. So I think with owners like that, it's not really an issue. It might cause issues between the team, but I think because of the owners they are, and you see it in the series, they say to the players, you have short careers. So if any of you want to start a business, you need advice, help, promotion help, we'll big up your businesses, we'll do posts for you, all of that. just do it and we'll support you. So I think they give the personal touch to everyone, and I think, it stands out with Paul Mullin that he's clearly a favourite. But I think that's also because, as a player, he's the best player at Wrexham as well. So I think if Ollie Lee was now the best player at Wrexham, you'd probably see that start to develop with them.
Do you think it has an effect in the dressing room on the other players?
It doesn't seem to, and I think that's because they're not... If he was the only one getting attention, I'd say they came into the dressing room and they spent their time focusing on Paul Mullin and just saying hello to the others, I think that would cause an issue. But I think because they talk to everyone, they know who they are, they know what their wife's name is, their kids' names.
How many of them do you think were offered the opportunity to cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine?
None of them other than Paul Mullin.
Do you think that might irk some of them?
Only if that's something that would bother someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would come down to the individuals, I
think it would bother me because it would be like just being offered. I might not want it, but just being offered. I mean, I might not get to play. I'm not going to spoil it and say what role he plays. Unfortunately, that has been spoiled for me.
I've already said it.
But even if it's like a walk-on role in the background or something, do you know what I mean? It'd be like, well, it'd be nice to be offered.
I guess so. I was about to say like they're two separate things because it's like it's his business, who he does and doesn't include, and I guess they might genuinely be friends. Yeah. Outside of it, so that might be why he's got the.
But you got to remember that he's also an employee of yours.
Yeah. You've
got to walk that fine line.
I personally don't see an issue with it, and I personally wouldn't have an issue if I was one of his teammates, because I genuinely think from what I've seen of the documentary, they make an effort with all of them, and like, yeah, this is something to another level, but I don't know, that would tell me that they're very likely closer than the average owner and player. What about you?
Hard to say. I think it would, as a player, it would irk me.
Okay.
Because it's a team game. Like I said, it'd be like, well, I didn't even get offered.
Does it really matter?
It matters a little bit because it is a team game. Yes, you have your star players and players that can make the difference and stuff, and you don't get away with murder. I mean, in one of these Sacked in the Mornings, Harry Redknapp talks about when he signed Carnu for Portsmouth. And he said he used to ring me every Sunday night and be like, oh, boss, I've got a bad belly. And he was like, and we just went, oh, fucking don't come in on Mondays. Like, who gives a shit? We'll see you on Tuesday. He said, because he was doing it on the pitch and he was, none of the other players cared, you know, because the players do, when you've got a match-making, match-winning player at the back or the front or whatever, you do give them a certain amount of like, oh, let them get away with murder. But I don't know, it'd be a little bit like, I'd feel a little bit like I was getting pushed to the bottom of the pile, maybe forgotten. And as a manager, obviously, I wouldn't let it affect my way of management at all.
No, and I don't think Phil Parkinson has.
I would be very aware of it if I was the manager of Wrexham. I think I would be constantly on the lookout of signs of discomfort of whatever amongst the other players.
Yeah.
Every time that they do a promo and Paul Mullin's first name on the sheet. I
personally think, having listened to a lot of like ex-footballer podcasts, they all sort of get how the game works, and like I sort of see Paul Mullin getting special treatment as not like, the experience he got to experience is above anything most players, I guess, get to do, but in terms of just being treated like he's better than everyone else, I feel like at every age level, any professional footballer would have experienced that. God knows how many times. Every team they'd ever played for, there would have been a player that was better than everyone else, and like particularly at that level of football, I think they're also used to rejection. So like, I think something like that happening, they're like, I don't think many of them would have even thought about it, let alone
maybe not
be annoyed by it.
Maybe
because
not.
I think when you add in the context of the owners they have and the relationship they have with the owners.
What about if it was another club?
Well, look, if it's a dickhead owner, you're probably going to feel completely differently about it. Like if you've never had a positive experience with your chairman and he's behaving like that, then that probably would irk you more, or irk me more potentially. But I also don't think it would make me treat the player differently though. And
but would you have to be aware of the rest of the squad? And no, it wouldn't change how you were with the player.
I think as long as like the person being treated that way then isn't a massive wanker on top of that and like behaves like the big I am, which from what I've seen of the documentary,
he doesn't come across that way at all.
I don't think Paul Mullins is that guy, but again I think that's the context of the level of football they're playing at, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
at least at that stage in the story. But yeah, like I couldn't have imagined you were going to pick that as a subject. So
no, it's an interesting question. I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
No,
I
liked it.
Hope you're impressed by it.
I liked it.
The level of question I bring. But it just occurred to me the other day watching it, and I thought none of the others ever feature. They never do like a whole thing with the squad promoting the movie.
Yeah.
Do, it's always Paul Mullin. It's always Paul Mullin. Pull this, pull that. Anyway,
yeah, but I guess because I've seen in the documentary, like, is it Ollie Palmer?
Yep.
He started his own fashion brand, and he's been given a lot of support by both Rob and Ryan.
Have you checked it out?
No. I mean, they're not going to do plus sizes, are they?
You don't know. He's a big lad.
It's unlikely. No, but like
he's a fit big lad. Yeah, he's a fit big lad.
That's the thing. There's big lads and there's big lads, mate. Yeah. Clip it.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think when you add in the context of the owners they are, I don't think it's a problem.
And it needs the context. It is important, the context
and
in
like,
this situation.
even at the end of the third series, again, I'm going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but you'll know because it's already happened. They've released quite a few of their key players that they've had over the last... But all of them at the end of it were like, we're not bitter in any way whatsoever. Like,
no, because that's football.
But no, but I think also because of the relationship they've had with these guys, and they've supported them to set up other revenue streams. They've still got our best interests at heart, where they're not bad people.
Cool.
But yeah. The thing we absolutely have to talk about, I guess, and we're half an hour in, so if we don't talk about it now, I feel like we might end up forgetting.
I'll never forget to mention this.
I'll be honest, I was fucking gobsmacked. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. I still thought they were doing the whole Kang thing, but Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
But we know from Tropic Thunder that he could have played Kang.
Oh, mate, absolutely.
He could have played Jonathan Majors.
Do you know what? He'd have probably done quite a good job.
Especially imagine if he'd have come on the stage.
Yeah.
Not on the stage, on the screen, and one of the Avengers was like, "Oh, I'm fed up with you people." Like, but what do you mean, you people? And then someone just on screen was like, "What do you mean, you people?"
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite scenes in the movie, by the way. Oh, and then he starts quoting like the Neighbours theme or something. He's like, "Can't we all just learn to get along?" I don't quit till I done a DVD commentary. Yeah,
I just love him talking about it on Joe Rogan when he was like, "Did anyone warn you about it beforehand?" And he was like, "My mum said, Bobby, I'm not sure about this."
But for me as well, that's an example of, I know that's not what we're talking about, we will get onto it, but that's an example of blackface where the blackface is the joke. He's not using blackface to make a joke.
No, it's to point out the
butt of the joke is,
that's
not something you should be doing. Yeah. That's the whole point, is
the self-serving nature of an actor thinking they can do that.
Yeah, the ego on someone thinking that this is appropriate, stealing roles from black people.
When he's got the actual black guy in the film,
Al Pacino,
and he's getting angry, but he's like, they're always trying to hold us down, and like giving him some sort of like racial pep
some
talk.
Black friend.
Yeah.
I love it.
And like that every scene when he's doing it is phenomenal, to be fair.
And he's genuinely, he's amazing because he plays the egotistical
actor very well.
Especially when he has that like breakdown. And he's like, maybe I'm Neil Armstrong.
And for me, Tom Cruise in a fat suit is just...
Tom Cruise is probably the standout star in that film.
His performance, you could argue in moments, is right up there with the rest of them.
Again, I normally don't like Ben Stiller performances, but I thought Ben Stiller was fantastic in that movie.
If you like on paper wrote...
You never go full retard. I know you shouldn't say that word, but that is I love that line.
I'll give you permission to say it, mate.
I love that line when he's like, think about it. Rayman. Autistic, yes. Smart as shit, counting down toothpicks.
Forrest Gump. Retarded, yes. A complete ping pong like a motherfucker.
I love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sorry, but yeah, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about RDJ. We are here to talk about Robert Downey Jr., who has been cast as a variant of Doctor Doom.
When they announced, they said Victor Von Doom, didn't they? They didn't say Doctor Doom. They said Victor Von Doom.
As you can imagine, I've got views on this.
Yeah,
so you're
a big Doctor Doom fan.
Do you want to give your views first, or do you want me to just jump into it?
I don't really know what. I mean, to me, it smacks of desperation. I think the Kang storyline in general wasn't resonating like the Infinity War story was.
The thing with Kang versus Thanos is Thanos was introduced in the background really early on.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first Avengers movie, might have even been in one of the Thors.
Yeah.
Or Captain America or something as like a post-credit thing.
I think it's the end of the first Avengers because he's like, I guess I have to go and do it myself.
And then you kind of, so you know he's in the background pulling the strings, and then you see his work, and you don't actually see him until he comes up against...
And it builds the
And when he first comes up again, he comes up against the Hulk and absolutely rips the motherfucker apart.
That scene was quite shocking, actually, wasn't it?
The first time we see Kang, he goes up against Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man, and I love this version of Ant-Man, but it hardly makes... When Scott Lang beats you, Paul Rudd beats you, you're not thinking, oh, this guy's a fucking badass motherfucker. You're thinking, bitch. Little bitch. I might be harsh, but you know what I mean? That's the kind of...
Yeah.
So you're not going, oh, this guy's a big bad that could take on the Avengers and multiple Avengers and stuff. You're thinking, this little bitch got taken out by fucking Ant-Man, man. This motherfucker can't do shit. Nothing against Ant-Man.
That was like, if I remember correctly, the suit wasn't working properly either. It wasn't even prime Ant-Man.
It was back against the wall Ant-Man, you know?
Yeah. You could argue back against the wall. Paul Rudd is the best. I mean, and Paul Rudd, what a man.
What a man. Look at him, huh?
I heard Ryan Reynolds and... did you watch the Hot Ones with them?
Yes.
Too? And I think at one point they were like, what deal with the devil has
Paul
Rudd made? Because he still looks like he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a phenomenal episode of Hot Ones, by the way. Like, there's a moment where, like, Hugh Jackman's actually having a breakdown. Like, you see it happen.
Because he can't take small bites as well. And he keeps saying to himself, he's like, damn it, just a little bite. Oh, done it again.
But yeah, and then the moment when they think they've pranked them with chili ice cream, for me, was just, they were like, this is the gag, isn't it?
He's like, it's just ice cream. It's just ice cream.
There's no way we would do that to you. What were we talking about?
RDJ. Shall I tell you my views on it?
Please
or do you want to do it? Okay. Yeah, I have a few views on this. First of all, like you said, I really like Doctor Doom. I'll get into that.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, you know what? Let me kind of look at the bullet points I sent to my brother messaged me about this.
Yeah.
And I sort of stand by
it. Because you two always have very strong views on casting.
Oh, you're going to bring it back to one thing. Okay, so I would say, like, ironically, given that they're talking about the multiverse, if we were in an alternate universe where Robert Downey Jr. hadn't played Iron Man, he could do Doom. He could do the nuance of Doom. He's a great actor, right? And he could do it very well. But he has been in the MCU and stuff. I think
he is Iron Man.
We haven't even had if we were seeing a variant of Doom and we'd already seen the main Doom, I would make it a little bit easier to accept. We haven't even had an on-screen Doom yet in the MCU. No. So this is the first look we're getting at Doom as a fucking Iron Man variant, Tony Stark variant. If they just want the Avengers to fight an evil version of Tony Stark, just get him to fight an evil version of Tony Stark, for fuck's sake. Don't take up an iconic character to do it. Just make him evil Iron Man. Yeah. Make a new character. Shit, I don't care. Also, you want the Avengers to fight Tony Stark to give you that, like, oh my god, who the fuck's on the Avengers that remembers Tony Stark? Like, Spider-Man had a special relationship with him. I'll grant you that. Who the fuck other Avengers are there? Ant-Man. Ant-Man's met him. I don't think Ant-Man would give a shit. He never had a personal attachment to Tony Stark, and quite frankly, he's like, he gets the multiverse. He knows there's going to be evil versions of motherfuckers running around.
Yeah.
He's probably had the most experience with the multiverse. Like, who the fuck is in the Avengers who's going to have a personal attachment to Tony Stark? Thor's Thor. Thor doesn't give a shit.
No, Thor was upset when Tony died.
Thor was upset when Tony died. But that Tony, if another Tony showed up...
I think you're underplaying what Tony Stark did. Like,
no, but
what he meant to
if
everyone.
Another Tony...
Look how many people were at his fucking funeral, bro.
But I think if an evil Tony Stark...
Everyone took the knee, bro.
No, but if an evil Tony Stark showed up...
I know Chris Evans is gone.
Thor would be like, oh my god.
I think what you're saying is none of them had a close
No, because I think Thor... This is how I'd see Thor reacting. He'd be like... Oh my god,
Banner,
like Tony Stark.
Is Banner still in the Avengers?
I don't know, he's got a fucked up arm. I mean, he might play a part, but...
He's got like a gamut. He's got Take My Strong Hand arm.
Yeah, but if Thor shot, I think Thor would just go like, oh my god, like, it's Tony, it's great to see you. And then as soon as he finds out he's evil, he's like, you're not my Tony. All right, off with your head.
No, but I don't think he's going to be a version of Tony Stark. I think he's just Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. And it's
but here's the thing, okay?
It's not Tony Stark.
I feel like it feels like cheap casting to try and get back an audience that have gone.
Yeah.
But for me, these are the reasons
Also,
I love Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
No, go on.
No, please.
Okay, the reason I love Doctor Doom, he's not an out-and-out villain.
Yeah.
Okay? He's... The first thing that I love about Doctor Doom that he's got this
real...
real...
I don't know a lot about him.
Do you know in Guardians of the Galaxy, when Rocket says to Peter Quill, he's like, why are you trying to save the galaxy? And he's like, 'cause I'm one of the fucking idiots who lives in it. Or he doesn't swear. But that whole, I'd like to save this place, maybe because I live here.
Yeah.
Doom has that energy. Like, if there's a world threat or something, yeah, he'll fight with the Avengers, he'll fight with Fantastic Four, whatever. He'll team up with anyone because he's like, well, yeah, I don't want the Earth to be destroyed. I do live here.
Yeah.
He's driven by his hatred of Reed Richards, which is quite specific. Also...
Is it justified? You're a big comic book guy.
Not really. I mean, it is and it isn't. It is to his character. But obviously, if he had a bit of therapy, I'm sure he'd get over it. But later on, when he's leader of... And because this is the other thing, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, that he's technically an ethnic minority.
Yeah, isn't he from like Eastern Europe?
He's from a made-up country called Latveria.
Yeah.
So he's meant to be like this Romany type person. Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with them casting... anyone in it, but I do think that it should be someone who's quite clearly an ethnic minority, someone who's clearly going to have suffered difficult, prejudices when they were younger.
Those things don't bother me that much, if I'm being honest.
You could cast a woman as Doom, like, honestly, because the things that are important to Doom are, one, hates Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Reed is smarter than him.
Is there a world for you where it's possible Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal is good enough that you could...
No.
Really?
Because of what's come before. Because
so even if he puts in Oppenheimer level,
no, he could be amazing at it. But it's like, but you're not.
Still fundamentally be wrong for you.
You've already got this iconic role in the MCU, And
I think, if I'm being honest, a small part of why I think Robert Downey Jr. is doing this is because I think he believes that he is capable of doing two iconic roles and it being fine. As well as the millions upon millions he'll be paying him to come back.
But just quickly about no, I don't do anything quickly, do I? Not on this pod.
Unless it's in the bedroom.
That's lightning.
That's why we call you McQueen.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because I insist on drawing like a little stripe down my...
I was about to say, because you always have to have racing stripes.
Go faster stripes, I call them. And they do make me go faster.
Yeah.
Later on, when Doom's leader of Latveria...
Yeah,
he's actually a very good. He's
actually
a very good leader.
Yeah.
And the question is, sometimes in defence of his people or in trying to promote his people, who are obviously an oppressed Eastern European people, he might go a bit too far. But again, that's the kind of nuance of the character, the subtlety of the character. It's also, he's got this huge ego. Like, that's generally one of the main reasons why he hates
super rich as well.
Well, it's one of the main reasons he hates Reed Richards is because he genuinely, in his mind, he's got everything, like you said. Yeah, he's got the money,
and he's got
the genius. He can do anything, get anyone.
Make
but
his
Reed
dick
Richards,
as big as he likes.
Reed Richards not only has taken Sue, the woman, but also Reed Richards is smarter than him, and he can't stand that. He can't stand that. There's some things that Reed, and like the fact is sometimes particularly with like the world saving stuff, he has to go to Reed Richards because Reed is the one that can figure it out, and he hates that about him.
Are we going to see Pedro and Vanessa and the gang rocking up in this?
I hope so, because they're predominantly Fantastic Four team. But this is the other thing about Doom, okay? Doom has such an ego on him.
So are we going to see... We're not going to see the same Doom in their one, are we, surely?
No, I would hope. I fucking hope so. I hope RDJ's not the new Doom. That would genuinely piss me off so much.
See, I think there's also a possibility, because there's going to be two Avengers with Doom in it, aren't there? Is there a chance he's just in this one, and then we get the real Doom in the next one?
But then why have a real Doom and this Doom?
Well,
like,
it's
I hate
clear
it.
why they've done it, bro.
I
think it's inarguable that they've done it because it's RDJ.
But this is a case.
Marvel
This is a case for me where marketing, if you want, has actually hindered the story. It's got in the way of a good story. You're shoehorning something in that shouldn't be there. It's got no place in the story.
Yeah.
I've really struggled because I genuinely really like Doom. Like I said, the other thing is Doom has this huge ego, right? And the fact is he's disfigured. He's got this scar. Depending on which version you read or you look at, it's sometimes it's not as bad as other depictions. But the idea is that he is such a perfectionist that he hides this imperfection.
And I bet he's going to barely wear a mask.
And this is the thing. His whole thing is he always wears the mask.
Yeah.
You never see him without his mask. He's never in the presence of someone else without his mask.
Yeah.
How the fuck are these motherfuckers going to know it's evil Tony? Well, he's going to have to take his mask off. They're going to have to knock his mask off or something. No,
yeah. I mean, that's probably how it's going to happen, isn't it? They're going to knock it off.
For me, it's cheap. And like I said, there's a clear, good story to be told there. If you want to do an Avengers with Doctor Doom, personally, I'm in favour of introducing him more with the Fantastic Four. Like I said, a big driving point of his is his relationship with Reed Richards. So I think it works better in a Fantastic Four film. But if you are going to have him in an Avengers film, have him in an Avengers film. I think this gets in the way of a good story. I also think, like I said, if you want them just to fight an evil Tony, have them fight an evil Tony. Don't take an iconic character. And there are, in terms of having RDJ play 2 iconic roles potentially, there are so many actors out there that are capable of doing this role.
Someone else.
And
I think overall,
let's give it to the guy who's already established in the MCU, who's already carried the MCU.
The most established, yeah. He's and the start of it all as well, like his move.
Sorry, first... I don't mean to dominate that section of the conversation.
I'm nowhere near as passionate about comic book stuff as yourself. I enjoy the films. I feel like I almost grew up watching.
Well, yeah, how does it feel as more of a casual fan of comics and comic characters and stuff?
I mean, RDJ is Marvel for me. Like when I think of Marvel, I think of Robert Downey Jr. My favourite moments, almost exclusively, include Robert Downey Jr. Obviously not. There's loads of moments I love, but like my top moments are probably moments that include him. Iron Man became my favourite superhero because of Robert Downey Jr. So in terms of that, like I think he's good enough as an actor that I'm probably going to enjoy the film regardless, and I'm not going to be offended by anything I see in it because I don't feel that strongly about it. Like you, I think they could have. I mean, and to be honest, I would have probably preferred they just found a way to go back in time and bring, or just get another Tony Stark from another universe and just bring our DJ back that way. Do you know what I mean? And maybe do a nice moment with his daughter being a new Iron Man and him coming over and have some nice emotional moments there. That would have been a better story to tell potentially. But what I think has happened is it's obviously gone. I think they probably made the wrong choice at the end of Endgame in the sense of they filmed 2 endings, one where Cap died and sacrificed himself and one where Iron Man got to live on. And I think they probably should have just... I think the problem is they didn't want to keep paying Robert Downey Jr. Huge sums of money, so I think ultimately that's what...
And it gave a real emotional weight to the movie.
Oh yeah, and it's an incredible end, but I think in terms of what...
Does it sour that a little bit for you?
No.
If they bring him back.
Because I think if you just... I don't consider anything that's come afterwards as part of that story. So for me, that story from Iron Man to Endgame is very well told. I mean, there's shit moments along the way, some poor films. But the overall structure of the story and the way they use emotion at the end to end it off, and even Cap having a nice ending, I loved that.
This is where I think they've lost audiences is maybe not the right word, but I think audiences maybe were done with quite a strong sentiment, but maybe done with MCU before Endgame. But they'd invested in the story.
Oh, totally.
Do you know what I mean? So they stuck with it to see it to the conclusion because they'd started watching in 2008. There's always been, maybe not quite from 2008, but at least from kind of like 2010, 2011, there's been these seeds laid for the Infinity Stone saga.
Yeah.
Some films it's been very prominent. It's been at the front, some of the Infinity Stones, and Thanos himself. Other films it's been in the background, but it's always been there. There's been these individual standalone films where it's been like, sometimes it hasn't even featured at all in some of them, but it's kind of woven its web through all of them.
They're all touching one another, at least to a small amount.
And then it feels like in this post-Endgame MCU, it doesn't feel like they're as connected. It also doesn't feel like, like I said, I think their introduction to Kang was wrong. I know
why as well. I think the mistake they've made is constantly making series. So I feel like with the previous storyline, you just had to watch a film each time, and it was once or twice a year, and you got the next bit of the story, the next bit of development, and it's just... Whereas, like, when you're asking people to watch 2 or 3 different series to get all the little nuances and to get the Easter eggs and to see the tiny moment that hints at the next thing, and then this, like, you're asking too much of people and for a story that's not as good as what you've just done. So I think that's where they've gone wrong. I then think Jonathan Majors getting in trouble in the real world, completely fucked up their plans.
Even before Jonathan Majors was ousted from the MCU.
No, but I think it's all cumulative, and I think they've ended up in this situation where they're contracted to do another 2 Avengers films, and there's not really a story.
That's the thing.
They can deliver or believe into the same level of what they've already delivered.
Having watched a few,
so I think they've just done something that's a bit money grabby. They're like, if we put RDJ in it, we're going to make more money.
Problem is, that's not why fans have turned off.
No,
and I think they've missed the point. I do believe, and I think, like, watching the
people
films,
didn't stop watching the Marvel films because Robert Downey Jr. went out of them.
But they're not. I don't think people will come back just for that. Look, they probably will do really well in that, but it's not going to like reignite them or relaunch them. It's going to get you a good take on one film. Well, maybe that's all you need.
At the end of these 2 films, they're going to reboot the whole thing anyway, aren't they? That's the plan, isn't it? They're going to do a big reboot.
Is that there? I don't know.
From what
honestly,
I
I'm so fed up with them.
That there's going to be a big reboot where you'll get a new Iron Man, a new Captain America. Like, it's all going to be redone, basically, to my understanding.
I think the reason is, like, none of these films that I'm watching now feel connected.
Yeah. Well, I didn't particularly... The last Ant-Man film wasn't great, to be honest with you.
No, I
think that's maybe the last... The Spider-Man films overall, for me, have been really good. I've got no complaints about any of them. And I even think the most recent one is probably the best one in terms of the stakes it has and the 3 Spider-Mans being in it. You're like, fuck, this is...
For me as well, I think the biggest mistake they made was introducing Kang the way they did. And I said
in Loki?
No, in Ant-Man.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, statistically, when you look
in Loki, isn't he?
When you look at a trilogy of films or a series where they go to 4 or 5 or whatever, like the Pirates and stuff, statistically speaking, in a trilogy, the third one is the weakest.
Okay.
I think there are some exceptions where the third one's good. If you look back, usually by the end of the third one, you might have enjoyed it, but you probably go, "No, they might have gone too far. They ran out of ideas."
Return of the King's pretty good.
No, there's definitely exceptions. Now, there's also
that's very arguable because number 2 is it's.
Well, I was about to say there are some franchises and trilogies where they get it so right that the second one is the strongest one.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, Terminator 2. Do you know what I mean? They're like.
Are we talking about which Spider-Man?
Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Out of those 3, with Doc Ock.
Oh, absolutely.
So out of those 3, number 2 was the better one.
The train scene on its own smashes everything else.
Like, Terminator is a great film, but I think T2 is a better film.
Is that Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Is that the... I'm trying to think of what enemy he's fighting in that. Is that
the
when
metallic
he's a good
one?
guy?
That's when he comes back as a good guy for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
with
one.
John Connor's like a teenager.
Right,
so, like, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, for most films, the first film is good.
Yeah.
We all enjoy it. The second one they chuck on just because it made money.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the third one comes on because they think, again, they're just trying to...
Is that a case of the first one, particularly in the past, like you didn't know, when they're writing the first one, I bet they haven't even most of the time got in mind that there is going to be a second.
No.
So then I think the first one does well and they're like, fuck, we're going to put some money behind this, get better right. And I think I think the third one, they start making mistakes because they're like, well, actually, we did spend a lot of money on that last one. Maybe if we cut back on this and don't...
And that's the problem. The budget goes up, so suddenly you've got to try and increase more. So they'll be like, with Spider-Man 3, they'll be like, well, let's just cram as many villains as we can and try and fan service the fuck up. The reason I make this point is that I think there are some instances where, like I said, the second film is the strongest, but generally the first film is the strongest, the second film's okay, and the third film you're like,
What do you think about the... Tom Holland ones? Which one's the best for you? Because I think the third one. What happens in the second? What one's the second?
The second one's against Mysterio.
It's good, but I think the third one's better.
Yeah, I think.
And again, the first one's good, but I think the third one.
But statistically speaking, introducing your big main baddie in the third of a trilogy is not a good idea.
No.
And I think introducing him, like I said, with all due respect, Ant-Man's like a bit more of a jokey Avenger. He's not the one that you go... He's not Superman. He's not the Avenger you look to go,
no
he can beat anyone.
Whatsoever.
He can't beat anyone. The point is he'll take on anyone.
He could have beat Thanos.
He'll go toe-to-toe with anyone. Yeah, I've gone up the arse.
Yeah. Or the penis. Anyway. Any orifice.
So I think I think that's where they failed with this one, was introducing Kang as a villain that got quite easily beaten by Ant-Man, and that's our first introduction to him. And it's like, this is the one we're meant to all be scared of. This is the one that the Avengers are going to be scared of.
I saw his first introduction as He Who Remains, but that I guess that is sort of he's Kang, but he's not Kang the Conqueror, is he? He's the good. But again,
Kang. if that had been our first introduction, I would have been a bit more like, but you're there's something about this dude.
Big screen, aren't you?
Well, Ant-Man came out before Loki as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I see. I think I saw Loki before I saw.
No, and absolutely. But Ant-Man came out at the cinema before Loki was released on Disney Plus.
Are you sure?
I'll Google it.
Please Google it, because I'm sure He Who Remains is the first depiction of Kang. Because I remember watching that and being like, okay, this is quite interesting. And then none of
get these in your head. Ready?
Yep.
17th of February, 2023.
Okay. When was that? What was that?
Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think Loki's pre-2023.
Yeah, it might be. But yeah, there you go. Then that's his big on-screen. Yeah, you're right. That's like a couple of years older.
I thought so.
No, you're absolutely right. I'll make my. But again,
my knowledge was better than yours.
But this goes back to your point about series.
Yeah. Unless you'd watch, and I still haven't seen all of the second series of that. But
if you're just a cinema goer, your first introduction is
is the Ant-Man version. And none of it makes sense.
If you're a more in-depth watching,
and that was something I've expressed.
You're introduced as the He Who Remains, but you're not introduced to him as Kang.
No.
Again, he has way more of a threat and gravitas in that.
And I think that Kang is far more complex and interesting as a character than any of the other depictions you see again. And so I don't think that storyline was ever probably actually going to work. I don't know how they were going to end it. I'd love to know now that they're not going to do it. Like, I think in that situation, just tell us. Like, tell us what the story was going to be and how you were going to end it, and then do what you're going to do.
Plus, obviously, you can do your own thing, but Kang in the comics is like a long-term descendant of Reed Richards. And we've not met Reed Richards. We haven't had a...
No, but that's because Fantastic Four tends to bomb whenever it's made. But then you could argue that's because Fox owns it, isn't it, and not...
Yeah, not anymore, obviously. But
what did they buy it back? Yeah,
that's why they're doing the X-Men and stuff. That's why Wolverine and Deadpool are linking up. That's why, because...
But I thought that was just they'd agreed a deal, not...
No, Disney have acquired the rights to 20th Century Fox.
Oh, to the whole company?
Mm.
Oh, shit. How are they getting away with that? They must be slowly monopolising the film industry.
But now you can have all those characters that were suddenly off limits and now on limits. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't help resolve anything with Spider-Man.
No.
Because Spider-Man and his villains are owned by Sony, so they've still got to do deals there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The Fox stuff that's a lot easier to do, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I understand why we've not seen an MCU Reed Richards yet, but... And we're getting it, Pedro Pascal. And
like, you couldn't ask for a better... I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four.
But then I was really excited for the last one. I liked the cast for the last one.
I didn't think it was a terrible film.
I didn't hate the ones that came out when we were kids.
No, the first one I thought was all right. I mean, the second one,
Jessica Alba in it, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I thought they were all right.
Yeah, I don't think they were, and I didn't mind the guy who played Doctor Doom in that either.
No.
And is he? I don't think he was an ethnic minority, though.
No, I don't think so.
No, he was as white as they come.
But the dude in the Miles Teller one was.
Personally...
He was Asian, I think.
No, he was not Asian. He was in Rock and Roller, that guy. I'm telling you now. Am I schooling you twice in one episode on comic book knowledge? I'm sure that guy's English. He was in Rock and Roller.
What's his name? What was the film? Oh, yeah, Fantastic Four.
It's going to bring up the new one, I bet. You should search Rock and Roller and you'll find the guy. He was the one of the main characters.
Fantastic Four 2015 cast. Toby Kebbell.
That does not sound foreign.
It doesn't sound foreign, but he's not Asian. You're right, but he's not. He's like, he doesn't. He's not white. He's not white.
He looks like his family have been to another country.
He's not white. Yeah, it looks like they went on holiday once. He's not white. Anyway,
I don't know. He's pretty white.
That's my problem with.
I don't see colour though.
I don't like RDJ coming back as Doom. He can come back as any other character.
I'm fine. I mean, like. Yeah, it's clearly a cash grab.
Doom's such a good character that we should have a proper Doom before we have other Dooms.
Cry over it, bro.
I will be at this. While
I'm sat in the cinema going, fucking love RDJ.
I'll be sat next to you doing the comic book man going, worst film ever. I will only come back 3 more times.
When RDJ wins an Oscar for playing Victor Von Doom, Like the first ever Oscar for a comic book film.
The only comic. No, that's not true.
Is it not?
That's not true.
I was going for hyperbole and I failed.
Black Panther won a couple of Oscars.
Yeah.
And Angela Bassett was nominated for an acting role. She didn't win it, obviously, but she was nominated in an acting role for, I think, the second.
Fine, the first white Oscar winner for a...
What do you mean? That would have been funny, though, if they brought him back as Kang.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been mad if they did that.
You'd have been
if
more
he Tropic
okay
Thundered
with
it,
that.
yeah.
No, but the thing is, that wouldn't be Tropic Thundering it. That would be Robert Downey Jr. actually playing a black man.
No, but if they all addressed it.
If you got the written permission of the majority of the black people
if you
in the
had,
world.
like, Scott, like, Paul Rudd going, he's white, he's clearly white, we can all see that's a white man.
There's a message from Barack Obama at the start of the film to be like, I have given permission to Robert.
As the biggest black man on the planet.
The most famous and iconic black man.
I approve this use of cultural appropriation.
Blackface.
By the future Oscar winner, Robert Downey Jr. Godspeed.
Do you know what? You could play Barack.
I would love to play Barack Obama.
Would you black up?
Do you know what? Have you ever seen... I know I've probably brought this up every time we've discussed blackface. But have you ever seen the Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they make Lethal Weapon 5, 6, or 6, 7, and 8 or whatever? Like, they make their own lethal weapon. And, like, halfway through, they all change roles.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you're fucking doing it wrong. So they just swap roles. And Rob McElhenney, he does blackface for the character. But Dennis doesn't.
Okay.
So, like, 1 minute he is blacked up, playing the role, and then the next minute they've swapped and Dennis is playing it just as a white man because he refuses to do the blackface thing.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. And again, in that, for me, blackface is the joke. Like, the whole point is, no, you absolutely shouldn't be. That is 100% wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of, like, blackface, have you heard that Little Britain apparently they're bringing it back?
Interesting.
That's just a rumour I've heard. I don't know how solid that is, but I've heard that apparently David Williams and Matt Lucas...
What do you think of that?
Most of it they couldn't do now. Do you know what I mean? Like, even the Andy and what's-his-face sketches with the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I know. That one.
I don't think you could get away with that
The thing is, I don't think Little Britain holds up as well as other comedies.
No, probably not.
Like,
I don't think I've ever
There's
rewatched
definitely
it.
bits. There's definitely some characters and sketches
My
and stuff
favourite
that are
character
funny.
was the gay assistant to the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I thought he was... I can't remember what his name was now.
No, but I
He
always...
was phenomenal.
I always quite liked as well the only gay in the village.
Yeah.
When she introduces other gays and he's like, no, you can't be... No.
Yeah.
And he, like, turns out he's a bit homophobic, like that internalised homophobia. But... There's definitely ones I enjoyed, but a lot of it was just...
I doubt I'll watch it, to be honest with you.
And in all honesty, like, I've watched a few when I say recently, in the last couple of years, it's just not as funny. Like, I just remember thinking, this made me laugh when I was a kid.
It was probably the
doesn't
shock
make me laugh
factor
now.
at the time, I guess.
Also, it's that thing, I suppose, of catchphrase sketches.
Yeah, yeah.
Where sometimes
You're
you can be
waiting
really...
for the punchline.
Sometimes you can be really clever with them.
Yeah.
But Little Britain wasn't that.
Yeah.
And that's fine for, like, a series. But certainly not for a revival 20 years later.
The fat fighters as well.
No, that was a brilliant character, and I still quote that all the time.
Yeah.
Like when she's like, "Dust, anyone? Dust," you know. Yeah. Or I often quote her when she said, "Fucking Matt Lucas," but
that's how good he was.
when she did the thing when she went, "See, cake, right? If you cut it in half, that's half the calories, which means you can have twice as much." I still quote that.
Yeah,
because I think that's a great line.
It is.
Yeah, she was good, and her racism as well was good.
Yeah,
throughout. Not so much when she went over the top on the, fatty and all that stuff, like. But when she would be the Indian lady would be like, "Oh, fish and chips." I've been thinking, actually, like, what's that?
Curry.
What curry? Must be curry. I'll put curry. That stuff was fun because again, the joke is not ha ha ha. Let's laugh at the Indian. It's like, no, let's laugh at the racist woman.
Yeah.
When they can all clearly understand her, but I don't think it's funny enough for a revival.
The problem with comedy like that is, though, you or me are able to watch that and go, okay, that's what they're doing. Or like we can watch Tropic Thunder and understand that the whole joke of it is the ridiculousness of an actor and their ego and what they're willing to do and justify. But to some people, they'll sit and watch that and think it is that, if you know what I mean. And
it's like people who watch The Sopranos and think Tony's a good guy. And it's like, no, the point is you don't like these people. They're not nice people.
No, they're horrific people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that's...
Little Britain, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know
how true it is. I could have just completely made that up.
Now, The Fast Show or something like that, I could understand.
The fuck is The Fast Show?
It's a sketch show. It's got some really good... It's got one of my... I think I showed you the sketch of, like, there's this bloke in the pub, Indecisive Dave or something.
Okay.
And I was like, I would love to see that take today. It's just, you know, he's like, oh, you know, what do you think? You know, he might be like talking about football or whatever. He's like, I'll tell you what, them England players, he says, they did bloody well that tournament, didn't they? And they go, yeah. And then someone will come along and go, they was fucking shit, mate. He go, yeah, no, that's what I meant. What I meant is they should have done better, you know, because they're better players than that. And I really let themselves down. And then, but on the other hand, you know, and it's like, but there's loads of really good sketch shows.
Yeah.
I think sketch shows are the hardest one to get right.
Right, we've got 10 minutes left. Should we quickly talk about Labour?
Yes, I think that's a good amount of time to give to Labour.
Yeah. What do you... Yesterday, Rachel Reeves announced, or what she did when Labour won and she became the Chancellor to the Exchequer, she said she would be doing a review of the spending of the government that was pledged by the Conservatives and that she would make an assessment and address Parliament with her findings. She's basically come back and said that the Conservatives hid spending and money and that there's a black hole of 22 billion.
Yeah, there's a big deficit.
And because of that, she's taking action such as getting rid of the winter fuel allowance for anyone over a certain threshold, which is a very low bar in terms of...
Which would be fine if you were going to raise the threshold.
Yeah.
So you're cutting it back for some.
Yeah, so like people like my mum, for example, who's not wealthy at all, by the way, and does not have a high income, is going to lose her winter fuel allowance. And it's not a huge amount, but it
makes a difference. It makes a massive difference.
What do you think? Because essentially, they're carrying out austerity. I mean, to be fair to them...
Which we always knew they would.
We feared they would, yeah. I mean, they've settled the pay dispute with the doctors. They've given them a 20% pay rise over 2 years.
Well, I thought she said something very interesting in that section.
What was that?
She said something to the effect of, it will cost us less to give them the pay rise than what it will cost in the strikes. And the delays and the backlogs and anything like that. She said, so like the actual strikes cost us more. It makes more
sense to pay the money.
It's not even about appeasing someone or making someone happy. Yeah. It's just in a pure numbers term, it's more cost effective to pay them than to have them keep striking. Yeah. And I thought that was very interesting because I think that's something I agree with.
Yeah.
I don't just like
she's made quite a serious accusation against the previous government in what she said. The OBR, which is the Office for
Budgetary Responsibility,
they have backed her claim that it was hidden.
Yeah.
There's a few different issues here. One, there's civil servants that didn't alert her to it the minute she took office, which a lot of people are arguing should have happened, that she shouldn't have needed to have. Now, for all we know, they did. And that she's just spent the last couple of weeks getting her head around it and working out what's going on. That could have happened. But the argument is they should have alerted her to it immediately. And it, but do we believe her is the first question, I guess. And what does her announcements mean for us going forward in general? And how do you feel about it?
I believe her for two reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to the OBR because they were one of the biggest put downs of the government during the Tories' time in power towards the end, and they would make these claims, and then the OBR would, a governmental body would turn around and go like, "Those numbers aren't right. Here's the correct numbers," and it's like the complete opposite of what they're saying. So they put them down unintentionally several times. Yeah. So it's a huge shout out for that. I think the fact that they've said it, that they've backed it. And I think also when you look at the dodginess that was going on in that government, in that proper
It's
help
not hard
yourselves,
to believe, is it?
it's very easy to believe.
Yeah.
So if it was just that alone, I might say I'd err on the side of benefit of the doubt, because that was just me putting my own prejudice on it, going, oh yeah, they're greedy, money grabbing cunts, so they probably did it. But I'd have to go, no, unless there's any evidence. But the fact that they've, like I said, a governmental body, an independent regulator, independent for as much as you want to put into air quotes, has come out and backed it.
It's a separate organisation from the Treasury, so she's not in charge of
makes me think that she's right. What that means going forward is that it's an almost a justification for them to go into austerity, like we feared they would. I think some of the projects that are being cut, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like Boris's pledge to build 40 new hospitals, which was never happening anyway. That was never, ever going to happen.
The Rwanda scheme.
I mean, the Rwanda scheme's a nice, quick, easy one.
It's already cost 700 million.
The hospital bills, like, I think that is about 20 billion was the pledge for it. So, but it's money that hasn't been spent. It's not like we're saving money. It's money that was never going to be spent.
Yeah.
So we've cut a theoretical thing. I think the Stonehenge Road, I was never fully on board with. The tunnel, like, I thought that was too disruptive. I was like, that's fucking around with the national landmark.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And if it's not necessary, why do it?
And I don't think it is necessary. And they spent a lot of money in the last few years, like redeveloping the roads anyway, making them into like dual carriageways and stuff. So I don't think that needs doing. But obviously, stuff like the fuel bill, like I said, if they'd have said, okay, if they'd have changed the threshold and then scrapped a bunch of them and said, oh, but if you still reach this, maybe. But I think a lot of people are going to miss out.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to push a lot of people who are on the breadline below the breadline. What do you make? Do you believe it, and what do you think?
I think I do believe it. I am denied about it, but other than the fact she's a politician, I haven't really got any justification not to believe her. I then sat down, because what makes it difficult to believe is the fact you don't want to believe that the government of a country not only stopped steering or like chose to do nothing, were actively steering the country towards an iceberg to make it as damaging to Labour as possible. Because that's the only justification I can think of for what's happened. But then there's the other issue with that of like, but these fuckers just get to walk away. Jeremy Hunt is literally sat across, sitting there looking bewildered and shocked. And it's like, all of these cunts, and like it just means genuinely for the last 14 years, they've wasted money on things to make it look like they're doing something, whether it's the Rwanda scheme, HS2, which they ended up having to scrap because it became too expensive and they didn't have the money. But then what concerns me about it from Labour's side of things is that their answer to it is the same answer we got from George Osborne and David Cameron when they took over, was that we're going to have to cut funding. But it doesn't matter what expert you listen to from what area of society, everything's already been cut to the bone. So what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, what is there left to cut?
From back when I first engaged with politics, when George Osborne and David Cameron went into number 10, was the only way out of an economic disaster in a country is to invest and tax the rich. And we're doing neither of those things. We're investing in some areas, but
not nearly enough.
Nowhere near enough. We're not going to hit the housing targets. We're already behind on them just by dint of how many you need to build per day to meet their target. They're already behind by hundreds.
Sorry, you go on.
But yeah, it terrifies me, because if their plan for, admittedly, they haven't even done a budget yet, so I don't know what long term or for the next parliament what we're going to be dealing with. But if this is an indicator, it's fucking frightening.
I think as well with the housing thing. I read, like I said to you, I read a really interesting couple of articles last year that have swayed my mind on it. I don't think there's a shortage of housing. I think the issue is landlords. And I think if you introduce tighter regulations on landlords and tighter caps on landlords, private landlords, I think it would, if you controlled the market better and you controlled their dominance in the market, if you like, I think you would free up a lot of housing, and I think you would actually find that the issue is not as big as it
You're
as it
right
seems.
and you're wrong. I mean, yes, it frees up housing, but you still have the issue of people not being able to afford them.
No, so, but if you basically, if you introduce things like, first of all, if you stop landlords just being able to increase the rent.
Oh, no, totally.
Willy-nilly. If you put better regulations in place to mean that landlords had more responsibility over the property.
I totally agree with all of that. But
a lot of them wouldn't go into it.
But yeah, and a lot of people will sell their properties. But the problem is then you still don't have enough people being able, like most people won't be able to afford a home still, the house price, unless the house prices drop along with
But
that.
if there suddenly came a flood of houses onto the market, the house prices would drop.
I don't think all of them will react like that, because I think they'll be aware of the fact.
No, but I think enough would come onto the market that it would change it. Anyway, that's like a specific housing policy.
I think like you need the government to, and it would require a huge level of investment. They're probably not going to make money on it, but investing in private property so that we have more social housing, and that would be, because to be honest, I don't think you're going to get rent reform through. I think there's too many landlords in Parliament, or at least there was until the last election. I'm not sure what the makeup of, but
part of the problem, isn't it?
Exactly. So for me, if the solution, because you're very unlikely to be able to regulate it because of that reason. So I just think you then need to go down the social route, and it all need to be social.
I'm just pointing out the fact that there isn't necessarily a shortage of housing. It's about who owns the housing. It's about who controls the housing. Yeah.
Well, it's about people are living with their parents still. Case in point, me.
And me.
So yeah, but
although obviously I'm not here for half the year.
But no, I do believe Rachel Reeves. I think she's telling the truth. I just don't agree with what her solutions.
Well, like you said, everything's been cut to the bone anyway.
Like how, after the last 14 years, can anyone look at it and go, "Yeah, we need to"?
One of the big things is that
more.
The NHS, which has had its budget cut to the bone anyway, or certainly had it's being massively underfunded.
Yeah,
it's having to pick up the excess of all the stuff of services that have been cut. So there's all these services that would have dealt with stuff.
GPs are going to go on strike now as well.
Well, this is the thing. Like, there's all these services that would have dealt with a certain number of people.
Yeah,
they've been cut. They've been either totally removed or cut to the bone. So people are now slipping through, and what's there to catch them? The NHS, which means they're being put underweight. Yeah. It's the same with the police force. There's loads of services that would have dealt with people, got them at a preventative stage. They're now gone, and now the police are having to deal with all these people that are falling through the cracks and relying on it. It's just ridiculous, and they're both underfunded as it is.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to reaffirm, we've talked about it loads of times, and it feels really apt to do it now with what feels like drastic rise in violence, particularly in London, but around the country it feels like it's getting much, much worse. It's been unequivocally proven that the way to solve the violence and the issues is through investment, social economic reform, investing in communities, investing in people, investing in rehabilitation, not putting people away.
That's the thing,
and a holistic approach.
Not only when you listen to the experts, but when you look historically, what have been the policies that have been enacted when countries are flourishing, when communities are doing well, when the economy of a country is doing well. It is, like you said, it's investment. It's investment into communities. It's investment into businesses. It's being able to put money into people's pockets that they can then put back into the. If they've got no money to spend, you're not going to see
science,
it.
Is it?
And I do think, I know this is my own lefty hippie agenda, but I do think that one of the big problems is that we have more millionaires and billionaires now than we've ever had before, and they're not putting the money into the country. They're just not. They're not propping up the economy in the way that you or I would prop up the economy.
And I can't understand with the majority that they've got, with the clear, like I would say at the moment, it's inarguable that there's a move towards the left in terms of what people want from their government more than the right. Because I think although that is as loud as it's ever been, the numbers I don't think like they match. I think the general election shows that. But the fact Labour's answer to it is the same one that David Cameron had. Now, it's probably not going to be the same level of extreme cuts, and I think that's because they won't physically be capable. Like, you just can't do it.
There's no much more you can cut.
You can't cut to that level. But even wanting to cut is mental to me.
I understand we don't have the money.
Yeah.
I know that. I get it. And particularly with this shortfall that Rachel Reeves has explained in this last week or so. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I do agree with you. I think that you can't cut something that's already been cut.
Yeah.
You're not going to find the money there. The only way you're going to find the money...
was just like literally mine and yours opinion, I could understand it, but it's not. I've listened to so many fucking economists from different organisations that all say the same thing. It's about investment, it's about training, it's investing in people, community, all of it. You can't, even just a little bit of it isn't going to succeed to the level we need it to. It has to be across the board.
You're not going to save the necessary money that you need, so you've got to raise the money that you need, and to raise it
is to invest.
You've got it's spend money to make money. It's
yeah.
Okay, so the public borrowing goes up,
and that's the thing. The debt's already doubled under the Conservatives, and like between this and that, the debt doubling and this shortfall that they actively hid, they can't ever argue again that they're trustworthy in terms of finances, can they? It's impossible. You can't.
And for me as well, I think if it is ever proven, obviously there's certain stands that they deliberately hid it.
Yeah.
Then people
if they
should,
hid it
then
from
people
the
should
Office
go to
of
prison.
Budgetary Responsibility, I couldn't agree more.
People should go to prison.
And like, Rachel Reeves herself is defending the civil service, saying that it's the ministers that are responsible. I agree with that to a point. It depends how bad this is. Do you know what I mean? If it was just the minister was hiding this from his aides, which I find that entirely impossible to believe, they would have all done the work for the minister. That's how it works.
But that's sort of
But
motherfucker, say the word.
What?
You're
compartmentalising?
Fuck you. That's the word. No, fuck it. It's not coming. For some reason, I've got a block on that today. But it's not happening. But is there not a sense of that going on? This department only know this much. This department only this much. Whereas the ministers that oversaw it.
If that's the case, fair enough. But I doubt that to be the case. As I get older, I'm far less forgiving of people just turning a blind eye. Like the more corruption we come across and shitty behaviour and violence and aggression, the more I'm like, no, we all need to do better. And like, it's the same as like with the Israel-Palestine situation, and people were like, but what would we have done if someone did this to us? And it's like, we could all do that, but at what point do we expect
Oh my God,
better?
have you seen the video of the Brazilian fan at the Olympics, by the way?
Oh, what? They ask him a question and he managed... I haven't actually watched it.
Okay, so so they're asking about the football.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he said, I'm not going to lie. He said, I thought Israel were, in the first half maybe a bit better. He said, but... He said, ultimately we've got this in Mali's going to be a tough... And there's like an Israeli fan behind him, and he goes, and he turns to look, he sees the guy's an Israeli fan or an Israeli guy, and he goes, yeah, Israel's not bad. Like, Israel's okay. Israel's not bad. And the Israeli guy starts going, no politics. Not politics. And he goes, no, I'm talking about football. He says, I'm saying you're not bad team. You're not bad football. He says, not bad. And the guy just keeps going on. He's like, not politics, not politics. And he just goes, and you see the moment this kid guy just goes, free Palestine, free Palestine. And then the guy's like, fuck you. And it's like, mate, you started that. The kid was trying to be chill, polite. And even when you've been, no politics, he's like, no, hey, no politics here, my man. Just talking football. And then he just carries on. He's like, no politics. It's well worth watching. It's only like 30 seconds. I thought you just see the moment when he's like, fuck it, we ball. Also, what a nice way to bring us kind of full circle, if I may.
Yeah.
Talking about that, corruption, it should be called out, and absolutely people should be prosecuted. They won't. That's the most upsetting thing here.
Yeah.
Bring you back. Nice full circle. I miss old school corruption. All this new modern fangled, we're taking billions out of the economy and all that shit and using government departments to cover it up. I want a bloke being caught, just dipping his finger in the honey pot, just having a little go for himself.
Well, you must love Rishi Sunak.
Do you know what I mean? I want Mayor Quimby standing on the Bahamas in his beach shorts going,
I think you'll find
get
Rishi
that steel
Sunak
drum out of the mayor's office.
You must be a massive fan of Michelle Mone as well.
But again, that's like some using the fast lane stuff.
You must have loved the pandemic in general. It was going on like nobody's business.
Just want like old
big fan
school
of Dominic
corruption.
Cummings, just
Old
flagrantly
school.
breaking rules, just being like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's quite different because people actually died.
But did they, Jake?
Oh, conspiracy time! Conspiracy time! No, but I just want some old school. I just want literally someone.
I just want to get rid of corruption.
It's like, do you remember when the worst?
But I can accept every now and again you've got to grease a palm to get something done.
Not to throw.
But I don't want that to be happening with my politics. I want my politicians to actually want to help people.
Not to throw Keith Vaz under the bus. He's already gone through it. But do you remember when the worst thing an MP could do was put a bra on and snort cocaine off a hooker? I want those days back.
Yeah, or a poor MP wanted to look at tractor porn.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
You're scrolling tractors. Yeah. Oh, there's some tits. It happens.
Imagine.
Look what happens if I type in tractors. look at those. Look at that. Look at that body there.
Oh wow.
Look.
Voluptuous.
Look. Tractors ploughing.
You're not allowed to call them midgets anymore.
Look at it.
Jake.
Look at it. No, look. Heavy machinery ploughing. You see? Phil, yeah, well, no, she did a bit of side work. How do you think we paid for the East Wing?
By plugging the socials, Jake. Now do it!
At Swords Crossing on Twitter. At CrossingSwords_podcast on Instagram. At CrossingSwords_podcast on TikTok. On your TikTok. We're on the TikTok. We're pretty big on the TikTok. Hit us up on the TikTok. Yeah. Facebook, just Crossing Swords. You'll find us, Crossing Swords Podcast. If you go on YouTube, Crossing Sword Podcasts, we will come up. Equally, the link to every episode will be in the description to the episode you're listening to right now. Yep. Any and every episode, there'll be a link, and you can find our page on that. Go and subscribe. Like the videos. Just give them literally a 10-second watch. Comment on it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It all makes a difference.
And just a massive thank you to those of you who do that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Out there that do it for us, and we really appreciate it.
Same on the socials. Just follow us, give us a like, it makes a massive difference. Give us a little comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, it's all good. What else can they do?
Love us.
Why don't you love it?
If you want to see my beautiful sweaty face, go onto our YouTube page, yeah?
Yeah, it's well worth it. Do your sex face. Because that's like with the sweat dripping, that's what it's like.
That's what Leanne gets to live with.
That's what Leanne has the privilege of enjoying.
Yeah. The pleasure.
The lucky lady. And we know from the start of this podcast, she's not going to be sharing.
No.
There's no one else she's going to be with.
Thing to myself.
You know, there's no one else that's going to be looking down on her like that. Or up at her. Well, listen, whatever positions you're comfortable in.
Stop talking about my future wife like that.
You know I'm going to. Because you don't have the soundboard up.
Fuck you, I do.
Out your fucking mouth!
Bye, Felicia.
Bye.